Today is day 7 of 30, sharing information that you should know if you've been diagnosed with fatty liver disease or cirrhosis. Did you know that non-alcoholic fatty liver disease recently had a name change to metabolic dysfunction-associated steatotic liver disease? Let's talk about why. So reason number 1 is that liver disease is a very stigmatized disease. So having in the name of a diagnosis the terms fatty and alcoholic all within one diagnosis kind of fuels the fire for it remaining a stigmatized disease. Reason number 2 is it's generally not a good idea to name a disease after something it's not. For example, if someone had diarrhea, you wouldn't say non-constipation bowel irregularity. Or if someone had a genetic kidney disease, you wouldn't call it non-diabetic kidney disease. So we should kind of think of it the same way, and we shouldn't call someone with metabolic associated liver disease, we shouldn't say non-alcoholic liver disease. Sometimes names for diseases happen that way, where they get kind of accidentally named after something they're not, because in the quest for scientific discovery in medicine, oftentimes a disease becomes a diagnosis first by ruling out all the other things that it's not. So it ends up getting named after something it's not. But then as we find out more about it and find out what actually is causing it, those diseases should be renamed to what it is instead of calling it what it's not. Lastly, the name non-alcoholic liver disease implies that alcoholism and metabolic dysfunction cannot coexist together. So now with the new diagnosis name of MASLD, we can correctly classify patients if they're both an alcoholic and someone with metabolic dysfunction. They can be called MASLD or metabolic alcoholic liver disease. This is particularly helpful to have a more accurate scope of a diagnosis when completing research. That way you know you're putting patients into the right diagnostic buckets, and it improves the quality of the research. So, the more you know. Hit the like and follow button if you want to stay tuned for tomorrow's tidbit of liver disease information.